Hey guys, RedPandaMining here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day this video. Okay, I just got in all of my parts I need to upgrade for all of my Octa miners. Well, my GPU risers are 8s, okay, that have the 170HXs in them. So what I got here is the main motherboard that's normally in these R8s, okay, that normally go right in the middle there. So I have one out because I have a gentleman that is currently doing a simulation or an AI workload on my Octa miner right now with the 170HXs. But the problem we're having, okay, and it's working for him, he says it's working, but it would be obviously better if we had a better processor, because right now have Celeron processors, also 8 gigs of RAM, which I don't think RAM is much of an issue, but the processor is a big bottleneck here. We're at 100% because it's only 2-core Pentium Celeron processor on this, and specifically it's an Intel Pentium G3220 Haswell CPU. It's a very old CPU, so I have a bunch of new ones here that I don't even know if it's gonna work, and so we're gonna try it in this video. I bought 10 of these i7 4790Ss. Alright, so obviously more cores, better than these Pentium processors. I also bought 16 gigabytes DDR3 SODIMM chips, okay? These come with normally 8 gigabyte, alright, so we're upgrading them to 16. Then I also bought 10 512 mSATA SSDs, okay? They're gonna go into this slot right here instead of using a SSD like this. We're gonna replace with the mSATA because these SSDs, or mSATA style, have faster read-write speeds rather than the SATA, okay, SATA connection. So mSATA is gonna be a little bit faster. Then I bought from Costco a bunch of Duracell batteries, notably the CR2032 battery that's gonna fill in on all the motherboards. I'm gonna fill them all here. And so hopefully it works. We're gonna test that out today because I'm gonna have to do 10 of these, all right? I have 10 i7s, 10 16 gig sticks of RAM, 10 mSATA 512, and yeah, the gentleman who is gonna be renting my whole setup here, all my 170HXs, is using it for, not for crypto mining, but for a simulation. All right, so let's get started after today's sponsor. ASICmarketplace.com. Right now, if you go to their deals page on the top right, they have a few deals going on for a bunch of ASIC miners, which we all know crypto is down, and so ASIC pricing has also been coming down. Right now, Antminer L9s are going for about $34.79. We got the infamous Canon Avalon Q going for about $1,500 right now. If you use their coupon codes on their website, you can get an additional $80 off. For a Bitmain Antminer L9, you can get an additional $100 off if you use code RPM for additional savings, and you can use that code for any other big boy ASIC on their website as well. Links down below to ASICmarketplace.com. Okay, I've already replaced the CPU. Okay, so the i7 is in there now. I already replaced the 8 gig stick with a 16 gig that fit perfectly. I put the CMOS battery in. Now I'm just imaging the mSATA, the 512 gig mSATA drive with a HiveOS image. This is what I'm using as the OS for the gentleman, and then I gotta do a custom SSH private keys for him to be able to access the rig for him to install his own stuff. So it looks like it is imaging right now. I'm just using this this mSATA M.2 reader here. Okay, so gonna wait for that. Then I'm gonna plop it in, and then I'm gonna turn on this rig first. I wanna see if it boots, okay? I wanna see if it boots with the i7 and the 16 gigs of RAM and the mSATA 512 drive, okay? So I will see you guys right when I put everything together, and it'll be up, and we'll see if it works or not, or if I wasted about $1,200 in buying all this stuff. I bought these from AliExpress and also on eBay, so links down below if you guys want to see what I bought. But don't buy it yet until I actually confirm that it works. I should have just bought one set, but I got a little bit antsy. I just wanted to buy everything because I hope it works. We'll see if it works in a second. Okay, I want to document this. So I got the motherboard all set up, right? The i7, the heatsink and everything. Okay, so one of the hardest things actually about putting the motherboard back in is there's a lot of little tiny like connections, and I had to revert back to another Octa miner that I had here just to see if I put in the right cabling. There's like 4 other little little tiny cables that you need to put in here. So that's one of the hardest things once you put the motherboard back into the Octa Miner. Anyway, I'm gonna put it all back together. I gotta screw in the motherboard on the back here. There are a couple screws here, and then I'm gonna turn her on and see if it works. All right, so give me a sec. Oh, great. I just screwed it all in, and there's this one cable sticking out. I forgot to plug this in. It goes on the front of that motherboard somewhere. Ah, crap. All right, it's on. There's no SSD. I'm just doing mSATA. I already put HiveOS image on it, and it should hopefully boot. And if it works, then we should, in theory, see it in HiveOS. Okay, so right now, I have all my rigs off at the moment because I am gonna, if this works, then we're gonna work on my next rig, okay? So this is gonna be number 2. The gentleman who was renting the rig was 01, so 02 is just gonna be this proof of concept for me just to see if the parts that I got are actually going to work. So let's just see if it comes up here. Okay, after a few minutes, there's a blue light flashing. I don't think that's a good sign. Let me check the back. Alrighty, let's see. I tried plugging in a monitor in it and there was no display out. The computer's on, or the Octa Miner's on. There's no network connectivity. I don't see any network connectivity there. That's not a good sign. Ooh. Let me press this button. Let me see if that does anything. I don't think so. But yeah, it's not coming up. That's not good. Oh man, okay. Let me try some stuff. I do have extra Octa Miner motherboards if, you know, things go sour. So in case I break one, I do have 2 more extra. Actually, I think I have another one somewhere, but hopefully I don't break it. All right, let me try something. Oh, all right. Process of elimination. Okay, it works now. I basically, well, the first thing I did was take out the motherboard, and I did put the 8GB stick back. All right, so it looks like the 16 gig stick, I don't know, doesn't work. Maybe I want to try another one. Maybe these are borked. Maybe I got sold fake ones. So yeah, I do want to try getting 16 gig to work. So yeah, that's all I did. I changed out the RAM, but the same processor is in there. And just to show you guys, it does show up on HiveOS. Okay, 8-core i7 4790S, so that works. The Bestos 512GB mSATA SSD does work. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we got more cores on this thing now. Okay, so this is definitely much better. Hopefully this will bode well for the gentleman who's gonna rent my rigs for a while. So, okay, alright, I'm gonna try one more stick, just a brand new one, and see if it boots up. Okay, so let me replace the RAM. Yeah, it doesn't work. Second stick of 16 gigs of RAM, another stick. So, SODIMM 16GB DDR3 doesn't work. Wow, I am surprised. Retro Mike, if you're watching this, you were right. The 16 gig does not work on these Octa Miners, or well, I guess the i7s in this configuration, SODIMM style. So it looks like I'll have to put the 8GB back in. Okay, well, let me do that. That sucks. Yeah, boots right up. It boots right up with 8GB of RAM. Okay, well, that sucks. I got a bunch of these 16GB SODIMM DDR3. Well, maybe I'm gonna see if I can try and return them. Because yeah, that sucks. That's 500. I spent about what, 400 bucks for 10 sticks. Oh, that sucks. Okay, anyways. Okay, well, as long as I know that it works now with 8GB, that's fine. 8GB of RAM is just fine. Main thing was just the processor and the storage. So, okay, we're good, guys. All right, I'm gonna put this thing back up, and then now I'm gonna work on the rig that I actually have to do it on that he has been renting. So just making sure that the processor and the SATA hard drive, mSATA hard drive, works for him. Doing that upgrade is gonna be worth it for the rest of them. I mean, yeah, it's a decent amount of work to take everything down and put them all in, and then I also have to clone his drive that we did all that work on already. So that's another thing I need to figure out. I think I'm probably going to be cloning them all on all of these, but then I have to put my HiveOS worker name different on each of the rigs. And yeah, I'm going to have to test that. I'm going to test that offline. But anyways, guys, yeah, I think that's it for this video. I just wanted to clarify that, yeah, looks like it works. Not the RAM though. Okay, so the CPU and the mSATA drive is working, just not the RAM. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Retro Mike, I think you were right. There's only an 8 GB max on these i7s for SODIMM memory. It was the same voltage and everything. Just don't understand why it doesn't work. But anyways, okay guys, well, that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna work on getting this all set up for the gentleman, and I'll update you guys once it's all set up. But at least I know that the i7s are working, thank goodness, and not the Intel Pentium. Anybody want a bunch of these G3220 processors? Let me know in the live chat. Okay, I'm gonna have like a whole bunch of them. So yeah, replacing them all with i7s. I should probably order more of these, because you guys may see right below all this 2 massive boxes. They're not ASIC miners. I know they look like Bitmain boxes, but they're not ASICs. I'll just tell you right now, I'm gonna make another video, but I bought 48 more 178HXs. Okay, there's 24 in this box, another 24 here. I'm gonna tell you guys how much I bought those in the next video. So anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts, what I just did today. Thankfully it works. All right, I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Yeah, 4790S. Let's go. Still storing your crypto on exchanges? That's risky. This is the Red Panda Tangem card. Simple, secure, and built for real self-custody. No seed phrases, no complicated setups. Just tap your card, manage your crypto, and you're in control instantly. Secure chip technology keeps your assets protected, even offline. I've tested a lot of hardware wallets, and this is by far one of the easiest ways to get started. If you want true ownership of your crypto, check out the Red Panda Tangem card below. Simple, secure, self-custody. Use code RPM for another 10% off. Link in the video description below.